Watch KSTV weeknights at 7:30 and 11 Eastern, and anytime with Insight on Demand on Channel 103.
Now, football season is right around the corner, and so now we welcome in the voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach, via Skype to talk a little football with us. Tom, how you doing?
Doing well. At least it's starting to feel a little closer to football weather.
Yeah, it's starting to get that feel in the air. And, you know, Joker Phillips the past couple of days has talked a little bit with the media about football, and he's optimistic. He said that he's not worried about his job, first of all, but on top of it, he feels good that there's some optimism that was built at the end of last season. When you look at the football team, do you feel like there's optimism coming into next season?
Well, I think the optimism, if you're on the Kentucky side, you don't have a lot of past performance to go on other than the win over Tennessee, and I thought they played certainly well the week before that in a close loss down at Georgia. So that's about the only past performance you have to go on. You have to go on a little bit more leap of faith that guys like DeMarco Robinson and Darryl Collins are going to be impact players for them. And it looked like that was certainly a possibility in the spring. I think you certainly need more at the receiver position, more big play guys. That Josh Clemens will be healthy, that Maxwell Smith or someone else will really take charge of that quarterback position. That really never happened last season, and that's something that I think has to happen. But, you know, Joker and his staff saw those guys all through the spring, and I think that's why, and they see them through the off-season workouts. So I think those are the reasons why they have optimism. It's just there's not a lot on paper to go on yet.
You know, that quarterback position you mentioned, to me, it's interesting because Morgan Newton is a guy that as a freshman had some success in the SEC and didn't quite build on that. Maxwell Smith had some success as a freshman in the SEC. And the other guy is Patrick Tolles, who is a freshman that a lot of people think should take the field. What do you make of that three-way competition at quarterback that Kentucky has?
The first key, Morgan's success that he had back in 2009, if he had Randall Cobb and Derek Locke with him like he did that season, he or Maxwell would have had a lot more success last year, I think. So that's where they've got to have those playmakers to turn short plays into bigger plays. Basically, last year, Kentucky was if you want to put it in baseball terms, we're still in the middle of baseball season. They were a singles hitting team. They didn't have any home run hitters. They couldn't get the deep ball. So that's what they need to bring into their offense. If they do that, if they get the line play that they need, some new faces there. So again, that's a question mark, but I think that will go a long way toward making the quarterback position look better. At this point, you understand why Maxwell is the leader in the clubhouse, if you will. Morgan's coming off an injury, some significant surgery, and Patrick Tolles is a true freshman. And Joker's talked up Jalen Whitlow, another true freshman as well. Usually a true freshman is not a prescription for success in the SEC, so I think any coach would prefer to have one of his veterans win the job. But by the same token, and it's certainly in Patrick Tolles' case, we know a lot about him being from Highlands up in northern Kentucky, that he has big-time talent. And if you don't see what you want to see out of your veterans, then you might have to turn to a freshman.
Yeah, the thing that's remarkable to me about Patrick Tolles is 42 touchdowns and 1 interception as a senior. I mean, those are like video game numbers. But going forward, Kentucky, a rough schedule this year, a lot more difficult than last year's schedule, which was very difficult. And Joker Phillips is said to be on the hot seat. Mitch Barnhart said he wants to see improvement. When you look at Kentucky's schedule, you look at the team, to you as an outsider, if you're in Mitch Barnhart's position, what does improvement look like to you? What do you think that he can show or the team can show this year?
Well, you don't want to see games like the one at South Carolina that got out of hand last season. You want to see if they don't win in a game against the likes of a South Carolina or Georgia or an Arkansas, you want to see it look like the game in Athens toward the end of the season where they put up a strong fight, had a chance to win a game like that on the road. That's what you want to see. And I thought that was encouraging that after the poor performance that they had at Vanderbilt, that they came back. That told you that the kids were still with the staff when they came back and played it the way that they did against Georgia, and then won the game against Tennessee, despite having to convert a wide receiver into a quarterback in a week. So that was encouraging, I thought. As Joker says, the schedule is always difficult. You've got that opening game at Louisville, and if you could somehow pull off an upset there, much as the team did in 2002, coming off two win seasons in consecutive years. Nobody was expecting much, and that team went down, upset a good Louisville team, and that propelled the 2002 squad to a 7-win season. 06, little was expected, and they lost the Louisville game, but still came out of that and had a very good season. By the end of the year, it was a very good Kentucky football team that won the first Music City Bowl. So they've got to show improvement. They've got to avoid those kinds of performances like the one at South Carolina. And, as far as numbers, I'm not comfortable putting any number. Is it, 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, whatever. They just need to be better, and I think they will be.
Now, switching gears a little bit, the UK basketball team, of course, won the national championship last year. And you were at the Final Four. We were down there. There are a lot of images that I remember from the Final Four after the game, being on the court and everything. And one of them is seeing you on the court talking with John Calipari. What was that like for you to be there when they won that national title? I know you've covered a lot of basketball, but what did it mean to you, and how special was that team?
It was it's one of those list things. If you're an announcer, and in this case the Kentucky announcer, you figure you're going to get a chance to be in that situation at some point, and hopefully have a chance to call a national championship game. That's going to be a possibility at a place like Kentucky. And got there in 2011. That was a great thrill. But then to go back for a second year in a row and then be in a position to work a championship game, when you get into a job like this, those are one of the opportunities that you dream about. And as C.M. Newton once told me about this job, you got a great opportunity. Now just don't screw it up. So that's the first goal when you get in a situation like that. Whatever you say is going to live on, whether it's good, mediocre, or bad. So you just hope you don't get the score wrong or don't get names wrong, and anything beyond that is icing on the cake. So it was, a very exciting moment, probably, certainly to be a part of. We have a great team. Mike and I have worked together a long time. Our engineer Jim Barnhart. We get along great. We enjoy being on that road every year, and it's been just great fun these last 3 years to be in so many big game situations. But that was the biggest.
Do you think John can he raise the bar anymore? Every year it's gotten better and better, and last year's team didn't just win the title; it was a special group. Going forward, this year's team doesn't really look like they've got that talent level on paper, maybe not that depth even. They don't go the 7 players deep. Do you think this season can compare with last season in any way, and can they win another national championship?
Yeah, it hadn't happened since '98, so when there's a gap for a Kentucky fan, I don't know that you can top that. That was a special group. We know how long it's been since we've seen an undefeated team, and they weren't that far away from being an undefeated national champion. So that was a unique group, certainly, and I don't know that you could top that. I think this team, to me, this season probably plays out similar to the one 2 years ago, where that team was good, got to be very good by the end of the year, and was involved in a lot of close games and lost its share of them. But by the time March rolled around, started winning all of them until that loss in the Final Four to UConn. So I can see this season perhaps being similar to that, and if they're peaking at the right time, I think they'll have the talent to make the kind of run that group did in 2011. Can somebody become the player that Brandon Knight was for that team? Is there a veteran guy and that can provide the leadership that they need, that they got that season from a Josh Harrelson, who kind of came out of nowhere as a senior on that team. So there are a lot of more questions I think probably to be answered, but I think college basketball as a whole I don't think will be as strong as it was last season. So while Kentucky may not have as good a team as it did last year, the bar to clear may not be set as high as it was for that team either.
All right, Tom Leach, thank you very much for joining us. I know we'll see you plenty as football season gets rolling.
Yes, we will. Looking forward to it.